Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This is my top 10 stocks as we head into Friday, April 19th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus Bitcoin analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candle that you see right there will still be moving around. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So ticker symbol number one, BPTH. And what a crazy, crazy day today. Absolute clown show. But in the world of trading, there can be money to be made within clown shows. And it's not a total clown show in the sense of the price is behaving absolutely randomly, because no, the pullback here, look at right where it started to go sideways. Right at that purple line, which in the world of charts is that famous 50-period moving average. And that's why it's famous. I mean, once, twice, three times the price has bounced off it. And now as I speak, during the last 30 minutes, you can see this candle here is starting to come up to play, which does bring about a valid question. Okay, is this the start of an even bigger bounce? Now think about that question. It makes no sense to ask, is this the start of something bigger if nothing worthwhile is even happening? But in this situation, it is happening. There is a bounce that's begun. Now, to be fair, maybe it's not. Maybe this thing just rolls right back over. But that is a two-sided coin because, well, I mean, maybe it is the start of something bigger, and this thing's getting ready to make another big move back in the upwards direction. And that's what a watch list is all about, finding unique, finding interesting situations, and not randomly rushing out and buying stuff, but at least watching it. So if you like these sorts of circumstances where you're getting a bounce and you start to wonder and you get to ask that question, is this the start of something even bigger, then certainly keep an eye on this one. Next, SINT. I did this in yesterday's video, so that is where this pattern is coming from, the resistance trend line right there, the support trend line down there. So let me go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. But here we have a classic example of charts and how you want to see levels of support and resistance behave. So in the world of charts, when a level of resistance is broken, you want to see it act as support. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Classic example here. So broke out, pulled back, look right where it bounced from, that former area of resistance. So just perfect stuff. You could throw this one right into a textbook. But moving forward, you want to see the price stay above that trend line. But eventually, from the bigger picture point of view, the level that's going to ultimately matter most is that purple line there, 50-period moving average, as I've already said. Keyword being moving. So as time goes by, that line is going to move itself. And eventually, you'll see it will cross back above that trend line there. So at that point, it takes higher priority and is the level that you want to see hold. But as of right now, preferably speaking, you want to see the price stay above that former breakout area right there. In terms of areas of resistance, I would say the main trend line to keep an eye on right now is that level right there. So pretty steep pullback here. And in some sense, maybe I'm fitting a square peg through a round hole. But we have support, resistance, upwards move here. Put the golf hole down here to make it a little more visual. A bull pennant pattern. So if you like penny stocks, you like bull pennants, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, SQQQ, and this one continues to grind higher and higher. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level because it served its purpose for now. And also that purple line, which you now know is the 50-period moving average, has moved itself up above it. So that now takes higher priority anyway. So like I said, I'll get rid of that level. First update, though, is when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, we just talked about, they tend to act as support. And so far, so good in that regard. You can see several times the price got down around that area. What area? Well, right there, let's call it 1195, and it's held strong. So preferably speaking, what would make the chart look the absolute strongest? Definitely if the price can stay above 1195. With that being said, assuming you care about the big picture point of view, as long as the price is above that purple line, then overall the bulls fully remain in control. In terms of areas of resistance, nothing fancy here. Just literally a question of where did the party finally stop today? And that was right up there at 1215. So keep an eye on 1215. But all things considered, this thing continues putting those higher highs and higher lows. And that's what it's all about from an overall trend building standpoint. Next one, HOLO. And I like this setup here, mainly because the first 30 minutes was such a train wreck. I mean, gap up, big move down. And when this is happening, and especially when the price gets down around here, it becomes a very valid question to say, is this one of these gap and traps where the thing just goes right back to where it started? And we got our answer, no. Apparently not, at least as of now, because the price has not only bottomed out, but it's got a slight little upwards move to it. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy. Just because there's a nasty move down and just because there's a slight upwards move does not mean for sure guaranteed the pullback is over. My point here is it now becomes a whole lot more plausible compared to if the price was just still dropping straight down. So keep an eye on that dynamic there, if nothing else, just to kind of measure the sideways nature that has been playing out in terms of areas of resistance. And if there's, a potential for another big surge back in the upwards direction, I would keep a very close eye on that pink line up there, which is the big brother of that 50-period moving average, which we've talked about several times now. That is the 200-period moving average. But like I said, interesting scenario here. Nice gap up. Very nasty pullback. Now getting some sideways movement. So is a pullback over? Is this thing getting ready to curl back upwards? We'll see what happens on Friday. Next one here, AMC. And overall, the chart held up just fine today. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level, kind of just making things cluttered now. Also, I'll extend this level out here because that remains a key area of resistance. But opening part of the day, very, very rough as you see here. But to give credit where credit's due, bottomed out, came up, pulled back again, bottomed out, and now it's starting to work its way back upwards. And the key dynamic here, maybe you already noticed it, but this high is higher than that one, and higher lows, or excuse me, this, I don't know what I said. I don't know if I said higher highs or higher lows here, but this low is higher than that low, and that's what it's all about. You want to see those higher lows being put into place here. So keep an eye on that dynamic. But even if the price does pull back, then continue to watch that purple line there, 50-period moving average. And then as far as resistance levels, definitely a big battle is brewing, and the bulls are really going to bring their A game, because not only is there this upper resistance line right there, but you also have that pink line, the 200-period moving average, now creeping down into play. So it's essentially like a double whammy. That doesn't mean that the price can't push up through it. I'm just saying the bulls are really going to bring their A game if they are going to be able to push up through that level. But like I said, when you consider how the day started to how it's looking right now, I would say overall victory for the bulls. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down below in the description box, or if you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can use to get signed up. So definitely get signed up. And as a special note, it is a genuine live event. So maybe you already have something on your schedule this evening. Maybe you're watching this Friday morning and you just totally missed it. Either way, go ahead and send me an email, clay@clayjar.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. All I ask is, because it's live, the event first does need to happen, and then I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. But if you can make it live, then definitely get signed up, and I'll see you here in just a few hours. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and wow, the downtrend continues. Honestly, I thought this sideways channel would put up a little bit of a better fight. I mean, it was essentially just 2 days long, and now all of a sudden down it goes once again. So not that I thought it'd make a huge move back upwards, but I thought for sure it'd at least stay chopping around in this area for today, if not even Friday. But yeah, so I got that wrong in the back of my mind. So go ahead, get rid of that level. First update, which you've already heard me say, when supports are broken and closed above, they tend to act as resistance. So if there is any sort of attempted bounce back upwards, new key level to watch very closely, going to be right there at 153.65. So keep an eye on that. And then yes, from the overarching standpoint, watch that purple line there, 50-period moving average, which will eventually become the higher priority, given its nature of moving. Eventually, it'll get down to that red line and cross down below it. But as of now, because it's still above it, 153.65 is going to be the main level. And then as far as supports are concerned, nothing fancy here, just a question of where did the bleeding finally stop for Tesla. And the bleeding finally stopped during that opening 30 minutes down there at 148.70. So 148.70, that new low. And if the price breaks through there, well then, I mean, that just means that the current downwards trend here is putting in new lows, and that is just symbolizing that the bears are not only still in control, but gaining that much more control. Next one, AGBA, nice penny stock here, nice formation, same general idea of what I kind of already talked about, big gap up, and then it's got really nasty and got to the point where you once again, threw out the question, it's just one of these gap and traps, as everything is falling apart. And no, put in a low right there, came up here, now trying to build a higher base right there. So you have some action in the upwards direction, as I've already said. I wish I could say it was this easy to say, because these dynamics are happening, it's for sure going to break back to the upside. So it doesn't quite work like that. It just becomes a whole lot more plausible at this point in time. So from a support standpoint, I would definitely say to keep an eye, preferably speaking, in terms of what's going to make this look the best, right up there above the 86-cent mark. And then in terms of areas of resistance, that trend line right there, I find to be very interesting. Now, if it's a high volume break, is it for sure going up to the highs right there? Of course not. But I mean, there is a lot of open space on the chart. So a good high volume break of that trend line, I could see that realistically bringing in additional momentum. So if you like penny stocks, definitely keep an eye on it. Next one, CGC. Very, very impressive movement today after what had been a very nasty downtrend. but got the break and is now working its way upwards. Still a lot of work that needs to be done, but everything's got to start somewhere. All bounces, or excuse me, all reversals have to start off as a bounce. So not just a question of can this bounce turn into a reversal. So the main levels that I would watch moving forward, first key level from a support standpoint right here at $7.50, and that's going to be more so that ideal level, the area that, if you're saying what would make this chart look the healthiest and strongest, definitely the price can stay above there. But from the overarching standpoint, you'll want to watch that purple line because now it's flattened out. It's actually starting to curl back upwards. So the longer the price stays above that level will curl itself more and then even, potentially get an upwards trend to it, which is what you want to see that moving average do, assuming you're long. But like I said, preferably stay above the green line at 750. If not, definitely stay above that purple line. In terms of areas of resistance, I would say the main dynamic here to keep a close eye on is that pink line, 200 period moving average. You can see a couple times here in the past, the price has gotten above it, yes, but as far as maintaining the momentum, both times right here, the momentum just essentially disappeared and back down it went. So first off, the price has got to get up above or get there, and then if the price can get above it, you want to just double check and not get too excited and just see if the price can actually stay above it and make sure the momentum doesn't disappear. Next one here, SNAP. Snapchat has really come back to life again past couple of days. So just kind of offer up a little context here. You can see it's been quite a while since the price has been up around this area. But that's also where I want to throw in our first area of resistance because as of it stands right now, we're doing battle right up here at 1175. You can see that generally speaking was an area of resistance there. Didn't hit exactly, but got within the broad territory. And then right there went slightly above it, but again, within the broad territory. So 1175, I would definitely consider that main area of resistance. So as I zoom back in, just keep in mind that's where that red line is coming from. And then in terms of areas of support, the ideal level, again, that preferable level that would make the chart look the absolute strongest, that would be the price staying right up there at about $11.38. But then from the overarching standpoint, you actually have a couple different things you can work with. You have both the pink line there, the 200 period moving average, and then the 50 period moving average right there. But yeah, over the past few days, got to give credit where credit's due, showing some good signs of health. So we'll see if it continue to build those higher highs and higher lows on Friday. Next, TQQQ, and the downtrend continues. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. First update, which you've already heard me say a couple times, supports are broken and closed below. They tend to act as resistance. So moving forward, if this bounce here, which is, a little bit of a little miniature bounce right now, if that's going to continue, then public enemy number one right now, first big question is, okay, can the price even break above and stay above that 53.30 mark? So keep a close eye on that. But even if the price breaks above there, like I said, the chart just has a lot of work to do, because you also have this trend line right there as an area of resistance. I'm not going to keep it on there. You have that 50 period moving average as resistance. So that's not to say that this thing can't completely reverse around and start to go on a big bullish run. I'm just saying if that's going to occur, then it's going to take a whole lot of strength on the bull's part to make that happen. And then in terms of areas of support, actually, let me change this to the 4-hour time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks now represents 4 hours instead of 30 minutes. But you can see here that been a long time since the price been down around this area with the next key area of support. Right here at 52.30. And that's coming from way back there in essentially early February. So, we were talking about multi-month lows since the price has been last around this area. But we'll see if it can get some sort of bounce. But yeah, bears have definitely been in full control of this one. I will get to Bitcoin here in just a second, but for you stock traders, again, if you like what you saw here or you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely go get signed up for the free webinar. It'll be tonight, Thursday, April 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But like I said earlier, if you can't make it live for whatever reason, go ahead, send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. So now let's talk some Bitcoin. Real quick here, I am looking once again at that 4-hour time frame, which I just talked about. So each of these represents 4 hours. And I like to do the 4-hour because Bitcoin is open 24/7. So I want to keep this analysis relevant for as long as possible. So I'm just going to operate under the, the premise that you're watching this video 15 hours after I release it. So 15 hours from now, first thing is, let's make sure that this is still a false breakdown. Yesterday when I was doing the video, that was the big question. Is this a true breakdown? Is it a false breakdown? We got our answer. That was a false breakdown. So let's make sure it is still a false breakdown. How do you do that? Well, question number one to ask yourself 15 hours from now, if that's when you're watching it, is where's the price at relative to 61,300? If you're answering the question that the price is down below there, that's a uh-oh moment, because that would imply this thing has rolled back over. It's broken down below that area, and now you got to be wondering, okay, how bad of a breakout is. So, the further down below you're answering the question of 61,300, that would just tell you the legitimacy of, potential complete rollback over. But as of right now, the price is nicely up above it. If you're saying, well, Clay, no, I'm watching it, and the price is still above 61,300, well, then the next key question becomes, all right, well, where's the price at relative to 64,500? which is much closer to right now because that is currently the key breakout area. If you're saying, well, Clay, the price is up above 64,500, fantastic. How far up above it? And the further up above it, that would just let you know that the stronger this already nice bounce has become. So if it's right here, obviously, okay, yeah, that's good. But I mean, if the price is way up here, that would just be telling you that this bounce has turned into an absolute beast mode. It's broken these areas of resistance. But those will be the two main questions that revolve around the 61,300 mark and the 64,500 mark. And just as I invited the stock traders, I invite you as a Bitcoin and crypto trader, because what you'll learn about in this class definitely can and should be used within your crypto, within your Bitcoin trading. So go get signed up. It'll be this evening, Thursday, April 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But again, if you can't make it live, go ahead, send me an email, clay@claytrader.com, and I'd be happy to send you a link to the replay. So thanks for watching. If you enjoy these videos, please hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Even if you just say hi, tell me what you traded today, give me your watches for tomorrow. But that helps out the channel, and I appreciate it. And definitely go get signed up for that free class or drop me an email.